you gotta work.
Do you even know how these things work? That's not how the conclave works.
So when I ask a question, like, you don't need to yell.
No, because you act. I don't know. You're just so naive.
It's basic talent questions. And what she's asking is, in conclave, which bishop and which cardinals, who would be the one that's voted for? You know, whether you're voting the white smoke or black smoke, the conclave, we all understand all that. But which one is like the like tall man and totem pole? None of that either. Who's the tall man and totem pole? Holy crap.
Can we kick out this fool? None of that would begin until after he's passed.
Oh, okay, so that's what I was asking.
Yes.
Okay. Like, Tom, like, I understand the process and who the options are. I just wanted to know, I didn't realize it was after he passes, but he obviously just...
It just has to be, like, okay, other popes have happened before they passed, but that's because they said they were going to step down.
Okay.
So...
Right. In the case with John Paul II, right, at the time, Benedict was the dean of the College of Cardinals, right? So everybody pretty much knew that he was next in line, right? That was a given.
Okay.
But in this certain instance, it's miscellaneous.
Right.
There are different competing factions within the conclave.
Yeah. That's what I was asking, so it's not exactly some question.
What's up, Rico?
You're a little faggot.
Why is my cross
And
not
honest-
for work? Why is my cross not safe for work?
Why? What's your thought?
Maybe you have big boobies.
The perverted mind of a Muslim.
My husband's God, so maybe he does.
Oh, your husband. I don't know.
What's going on?
Honestly, like you asked a very valuable question. Like for me, in 2004, I went to the Vatican, and Pope John Paul had been sick.
You're a liar.
But he came out. Yeah, I was in Vatican.
Most pictures and prove me wrong, or else.
Like what?
I mean, I could believe you,
Okay.
a lot of people do.
So bottom line is like I went about everything.
No, I know. I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I never see this.
Interrupts.
I mean, a lot of people do lie for stupid reasons. I don't know why you lie about that.
Why would I lie about going
Lies,
to the
don't tell me.
Vatican?
He's a compulsive liar. He's never been to the Vatican. He even locked. You know, never mind.
I know that like I tried to show up with shorts on, and they told me I couldn't get in. I had to go buy a pair of pants.
Okay, what happened? So you didn't even go in.
I don't recall if it's true. I think I was wearing shorts in Rome when I went. You can't wear shorts in the Vatican.
I mean, why would a guy wear shorts to church?
Well, I mean, if you're doing the whole Sistine Chapel tourism thing. It can be hot in Rome, yeah, if you're hiking around all day. Yeah, well, you still can't wear shorts.
I can't do it.
Can I roll with you guys now that I'm safe for work?
No.
Hey, the cross finally showed up.
Oh my gosh, I wish that you would have just heard the statement that just came in here. It was the wildest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, by the way, I wasn't assuming that he was a Hindu. I know the guy. I met him before, actually.
No,
Even one of his houses is a Hindu house titled Bible, but it has a photo of like one of the Hindu gods and like
you
that.
met him?
I've met him before on this app.
Wow.
That's right.
Because he has a PTI that looks like a Hindu symbol.
Would you, by hearing that voice, would you in your right mind fucking ever be upset, dude?
I don't know, he could be trolling. I don't know what's up with him.
No, that was like demonic.
No, not like I didn't meet up with him in real life. I met him on this app before, like the first time I met him. And when I first met him, he didn't act like this. The first few minutes, he was fine. Then he started saying the most disgusting things I don't even want to repeat.
There are, I don't know who these people are, but there are people who believe like the Abrahamic Saturnalia or whatever. They
believe that we're all like worshiping Saturn or something like that.
I think most of the people that are around the world believe in that.
What?
Have you seen how many
Not
corporate
around
logos?
the world.
It's
It's
a
a single
thing there.
Have you seen how many corporate logos? Have you seen how many corporate logos have references to Saturn?
Yes.
Don't know, don't care.
Hey, Rico, I know Diego.
How many times you get married? How many rings you got? Is that why you think about Saturn that way?
The rings? Yeah,
The rings.
Yeah, the rings.
It's like my precious.
What's up? What's up, Goo?
I didn't know Diego was an atheist, dude. Why is he LARPing as a tradcast on the app?
I don't know. I haven't seen that guy around in a
Like,
while.
why is he playing a character? Like his religion just like a political moniker for people. Like, I don't know.
Who's Diego? Which Diego?
Nowadays, yes, it is be, but sadly it has become that. Oh, by the way, Rabbi, for some reason I was invited to a room on Twitter titled Islam a Frenemy to Whites. What the fuck is that?
Also, no, check your back channels.
Fucking 80s old star.
When are we gonna make Israel the strongest country in the world?
Israel is the strongest country in the region,
Which Diego are you talking about? Diego, the
Diego.
He's atheist, bro. He's an atheist.
Bro, somebody, I'm not gonna disclose who or like what his identity is, but there's videos of him debating. He debated Jay Dyer on multiple occasions. Okay, he's not an agnostic. He is a militant atheist. Okay, he doesn't believe that.
That was awesome. Too bad they kicked me. Kick me again.
Yeah, it's completely possible.
Hey, Zach.
Zach is not at his phone right now.
Where is he?
He stepped away for a second.
Oh, he's eating spaghetti.
I know, right? But what brought you to England?
For some reason, I got a scholarship, so I can if about 2000. Since I don't know if I was lucky or not.
again, bitch. Did you think I was playing? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, simp. Whole ass, incel ass nigga. I got a family. I don't know, bro. Hopefully we'll make it. Hopefully. We'll make it. We always have. Nothing the enemy do stop you ever. Ever, ever, ever. We can talk about anything else y'all want to talk about. I don't mind. Well, I'm new to this room. Can y'all tell me what it initially? What's up? Well, this is politically incorrect. We come in here to talk about politics every day. Usually around this time, we're in the 420 lounge. But Lisa's not here right now. I don't see a room open. But we shoot the shit. You know, we talk politics, and unlike some other rooms, we require people to be kind of factual, be able to support the shit that they say. And if you don't, you kind of get dragged. When you're worse than that, you get the treatment that one of them is experiencing now. That's all. You know, we pretty cool most of the time. It's not. Shut the fuck up, bitch! I told your stupid ass to shut the fuck up. And here you go again. You got a fucking humiliation cake, bitch. Is that what they used to do? Beat your ass before they fucked you in prison, huh? You trying to relive it on the stage, bitch? Pay me. I don't do kink play for free, ho. So what's the political agenda tonight? What are y'all? How we trying to find it?
We trying to figure it out slowly on the news right now. Unless anybody has any breaking.
Well, I had a whole bunch of homophobic bitches like that's all motherfucking police. We're trying to support Al come out the closet and submit his homosexual. No, they trying to send him over here, and we don't want that help. We fool up.
That's a waste of time. You let them stay in the closet. They don't know the air is all right out here.
We fool up. We don't want that shit over here.
Just what did you say you had? You said you had some.
It's mindset. Go ahead, Jason. Corey had a whole bunch of stuff earlier, which I was talking about Trent and his baby mama and stuff.
Stay focused. You forgot.
I forgot. Hold on.
Just real quick. Just real quick. Just real quick, they identified the person that died. Did y'all do that already? And when they came,
No, go ahead.
Did y'all do that already?
Oh, wait. Aisha, you're off mute.
Did y'all do that already?
No, we didn't. Go ahead.
So they identified the person who died in Texas from the measles, and it's a kid. It's a kid from the Mennonite community. So, and apparently the measles is running through the Mennonite community because they homeschool, so they are outside of the vaccine mandate, despite there being heavy anti-vax rhetoric in that area, and vaccinations are low just generally. So they did do that. And then the second thing is that in Oregon,
Is that a question about to fucking prank the politically correct
in
word?
Oregon,
It's called MAGA Power. Elon is saving
Oregon,
America. I don't know what I'm gonna say yet though.
CEO,
But I'm on safe.
I wanna make sure
They're gonna
this
kick
is
me in the
properly
second.
right. His house was threatened. I'm trying to see what company. SAIF.
MJ, you're off mute.
The CEO of Oregon's Workers' Compensation Insurance Organization his house was shot up. Someone fired several rounds at close range into the house. The suspect was on foot. So we have our second attack on a CEO in the U.S. And he is uninjured. His name is Chip Terhune, Workers' Comp Insurance CEO. Those are the only two pieces of news I've gotten.
When Trent was in here, he was talking about the Epstein report that was about to come out, but the FBI has been really busy trying to either redact or thread any piece of evidence that Donald Trump appears in the report. So the report you're allegedly going to get tomorrow, if it does drop tomorrow, is probably not going to be the real report.
Yeah, we can't rely on Trent unless it's UFOs, APs, or the border.
That's why I said allegedly, Dr. You say allegedly.
Trent has to stick to his feet. I'm sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, what's supposed to come out tomorrow are not the entire Epstein files, but they're supposed to release his client list.
Oh.
Did you see what the national director did? She kicked out all the trans fetishists in the cult of the NSA. I can't believe it.
Okay, just kick him out the room.
There was you.
Why kick? You know, just admit the truth that Trump is ruining your party.
Not admit the truth that you going in the hall.
You know what it is, First Lady? Where First Lady went? Damn.
I should have read the actual news article. They would have, if I would have been, if I was able to flow, they wouldn't have known what to do. But I didn't have the news article up in time. Anyways, they kicked me.
No, no. See, everybody ends up in the same place in both worlds. It's just, it's either they all end up in heaven or they all end up in hell forever, right? But at any given time, there's still an infinite number of people in the starting place, right? You know who didn't understand this at all, Piper? Perspective philosophy did not get it.
So in both cases, there's an infinite number of people in heaven and hell. Oh, wait, that's not right. World 1, infinite hell. World 2, infinite heaven to start out with. And then in both worlds, you take them one at a time and put it in the other world. Put it in the other, like, go from heaven to hell or hell to heaven. And they go one.
We went there and she found that like there is nothing happening over there, just the way it is happening here. So we just want to make a point, like we love everyone. We love to have you all. But I really don't know like what kind of vibes that you people get when you enter into this room and you just feel like you just want to have a brawl or fight. We are just having fun, right, hon? You're making fun of me, like in a funny way. I just took it. And today I made fun of you enough times. I mean, for almost like 1 hour.
Yeah, you're being trying very hard.
Yeah, like it's just fun, like me and you, we both have understanding. So I appreciate that kind of fun, like if you give something, if I give something, it's like a mutual thing.
But I think what's happening here, Vision, is I think who you are is can maybe have some sexual tension. And this is what I think maybe
He's cursing her. Why?
Yes, but usually what happens, I believe there may be some kind of role play going on between the two.
This is not a romantic or something like what we call role play, but
It could be like, mother and son kind of thing going on.
what the?
Excellent vision. I tell you what, you've both done me proud tonight, you and Grenda. You're laughing at him insulting
Hey,
my
Scotty!
and Grenda's fine with people saying shit about me in the chat.
Hold on one second, Scott. Hi, I just want to express the love that I feel. I feel the love from Vision. I also feel that Han is a very unhappy person, and Han is going room to room all the time and trolling. But I feel the love from Vision. I feel it right now, and I hope the love is with everyone else. Thank you, Vision.
Do you feel love? What the fuck is going on, Brenda?
I'm tired that you have control, guys. You everyone have the mouth to defend ourselves. I don't defend no one more. I'm sorry. I have no control. It's 2 o'clock. I'm tired. My brain is not working. I had a long day. I'm sorry, Lilo, but everyone can defend.
Scott, what did you think about what I said in the room?
That's great.
Was I accurate in my assessment, or was I just, am I just a...
That's good. It was good stuff.
Yeah. But why did she kick? Why did she kick?
What's going on, buddy?
Nothing. I'm in a room called Help. I'm going insane. But I am about to go to the gym in a few minutes.
Do you even lift, bro?
I do.
People like that, then that tells me all I need to know. And if Vision thinks it's fine to laugh along with Han while he purposely insults my age, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
I didn't insult your age.
I tried to be on your side many times, Lilo, but if this is happening every night, I don't have a force every time to fight with people. You need to understand as well.
Hang on, I never cause trouble. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Don't you dare.
Right? I don't call anyone names, ever. I don't swear at anyone, ever. I would have just liked a bit of support when someone is flipping. I wanted a bit of support
They
when
kicked him.
someone was swearing at me in the chat.
What do you mean? It's another fucking stupid clubhouse room. It's the same fucking room every time.
It's like if you every time you want insulted stuff. I have no control all the time. You understand what I mean? Because
I'm sorry, but help me. I think I'm going insane just listening to this. They kicked me too.
If he does this almost every day, I have no control because many times I try to tell him stop. I even take.
That would be my further claim, right? And the morality I come down to is it's a mix of one, there's like those 100% emotional decisions, then there's like.
Yeah, I just find this shit wild because I've actually studied the Black laws, the history, the foundation of the United States, the Constitution.
Motherfucking constitutional scholar over here.
And most people can't say that.
Yeah.
Are you a constitutional scholar?
Oh my goodness, listen to you.
Motherfucker, you fucked the room up.
Good.
You fucked the room.
Not everybody
Hey,
can
Austin, happy birthday, Austin. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, Austin, happy birthday. Nope. So, Scott, how do you defend yourself when people say that you are the deep state?
I'm not a mod there anymore.
Oh, you're not?
I was demodded because of my feud with L Stern.
Squabbles. Isn't there a bigger picture in these rooms? I thought why do they entertain these squabbles?
There's no picture.
It's a waste of time, isn't it? I don't think it's a waste of time. Like, why don't you just record it and bootleg it? And, do what Chris and I are doing. I say just bootleg. Bootleg. It's the modern day bootlegger. You want some moonshine? I've got a bottle for you. I'm a bootlegger. You're a legger? What's a legger? No, legger, not the N word. I'm a bootlegger. Oh, I thought you said boot N word. No, legger. Bootlegger. Ooh, Don Danton has arrived. The mighty Don Danton. Look at that PTR. Is that Hickok? Oh my God, don't tell me that's your grandfather. Who is that man in your PTR, Don Danton?
My grandfather.
Holy shit. I want to say it actually looks like you. It's hard to, you know.
And Andrew Jackson Henderson.
He was Andrew Jackson, huh?
Henderson.
Damn.
And that was him, 1861. Right before he joined the Civil War. He joined up over there in Brunswick, Georgia, where I was born.
What do you think about a fat woman who says the word demure? Can fat women use the word demure?
It sounds like a cat, like, throwing out their song, like kitty litter. So, John, what did you do last night? Because I was in a room last night. People were dogging you. Like, throwing out your whole name, like, we're not doxing him. He ran for office. His name is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I wasn't even on stage. I was just down in the bottom. Listening. I was like, yo, what did you do to these motherfuckers? Dude, did you steal somebody's lunch money?
I stole some people's joy and gave them a shit sandwich.
Dude, I was laughing. I was literally laughing my ass off. Because they were talking shit and you weren't even in the room.
Welcome, Elnorma.
Thank you. Who said that, Edmund?
No, Don was saying that people were calling me out on the app last night, doxing me and saying all kinds of profanities.
I didn't hear. But your voice is, like you speak a different. I have to tell you, I ran Soren out of 3 rooms in a row in the past 2 days. I'm amazing myself right now. I don't know what, I'm channeling some kind of evil energy or something.
It's your hidden daemon. You're connecting with your true self, a warrior, a ninja.
Oh boy, I've been told it's scary, and you should hear the things that he's saying. He's completely losing it. I don't even know if I should repeat this. I'm going to repeat it. He just said to me, he asked me if I was masturbating while I was talking on this app. I was in a room full of people. Like, oh my God, did you just hear what you said?
I think he's reached the point where you spend enough time on here, you just essentially say vulgarities, profanities, and throw it against the wall and see what shit sticks. Meaning that something's going to stick. And if all communication is hypnosis, just saying horrible things about someone is, you could say that is a strategy, but, obviously it's a weakness. I mean, it just shows, lack of real intelligence. It's like being in the high school, the junior high playground calling somebody poopy pants.
Yes, that's what they're doing. I mean, they're doing it. It's weird that people are reverting. I have to say, I'm watching this series called Severance. If you're not watching it, I kind of recommend it. It's very strange, though. I can't even describe it. My kid wrote about it, so I watched it. It's directed by Ben Stiller, Scott Adams, and John Turturro, and Christopher Walken. I mean, it's not some great guy. Anyway, the analogy I'm making is that this feels like some diabolical social experiment at this point. this app. I mean, it's almost as if we're like locked in a room together, except thank you, Zenemini. It's like the pandemic, only like we're the people that never came out of the pandemic. We're still like sort of like just eating each other in a glass, big glass case, or something, like bugs or something, devouring each other. A bell jar. That's the image I was going for.
Yeah, but see, I think I even saw a room called Soren NL Norma, or is there a house or something called
There've been
Soren?
a few of them.
Yeah.
So somebody once introduced me to a woman who was very cute and very bright and a PhD, which turns me on, I won't lie. And her specialty was dung beetles. Okay? So I went to visit her at the Museum of Natural History, where we spent time with my kid classifying dung beetles. And I mention that because it seems like, first of all, why would anybody be into dung beetles? And secondly, it seems like that's what we're becoming. We're reverting, like we're de-evolving into dung beetles.
Yeah, but you missed a room this morning. You can bring Chris up here if you want, Zenemini. But we were talking with McZed, and we had a very in-depth conversation with Rabbi Caleb as well about communication, about self, about the now. It was with Issa. Issa hosted it, but it was all about the power of now. And so that's the whole problem, is all these people who are doing this, maybe even including yourself, because it takes two to tango. I think it's comedy, and but I think if you're not filming it and trying to publish it, it's like insanity, because then you're really spinning your wheels. Like there's no greater awareness. Like you could use it to essentially enlighten other people by making them laugh at the ridiculousness of it. So that's why
I've done that a little bit. I know I'm sometimes funny, and I think I've gotten sharper at my repartee, and I know this subject better. I started putting tefillin on this app, so I've gotten closer to Judaism. Partially as the result of the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't. Do you know who Dan Bilzerian is?
That name has come up a few times.
He's like an Aries. He's a rabid anti-Semite. If you go to his X account, you'll just be flummoxed at the shit that he says. I could read you some things right now, and you'd be.
He's Armenian. I mean, because the Armenians really have an interest for some reason. I don't know why, but they hate us.
They're Christians, which is insane. I mean, I know Azerbaijanis, or not Azerbaijan. I mean,
so they're our allies.
Not as yeah. Anyways, I'm saying those Muslim Azerbaijanis are more peaceful than those Christian Armenians, which is ironic.
So people thought that World War III was going to start at what do you call it, Nagorno-Karabakh, which is where Azerbaijan and Armenia meet, because they're fighting over this territory, and the Armenians just blame us for all these problems. Like, for example, an Armenian said to me that Kemal Ataturk was actually a Turkish Jew, and that he was responsible for which I think he was, the Armenian genocide. Even though he's sort of kindly regarded in the West as an ally. Possibly because of the Turk enmity with Russia. And I guess we needed them as an ally in NATO, and Israel has certainly regarded them as an ally in the Muslim world. In any event, the Armenians hate us. I guess they're closer to Russia.
Yeah.
I really like that poem that you read, Emperor of Ice Cream. Really appreciated it.
Well, you're very kind to say so, and I'm glad you reminded me that I've actually said something worthwhile in my life. It's wild and season.
It's just like, I was in that room with you, Dr. Jasmine, Jazzy, and all those other anti-Semites. So it was just kind of crazy. It was just like pure psychosis, just pure psychosis on display.
But you started first by saying something that I said and did that was worthwhile. Did I say it to Edmund?
Yeah, I was listening into the audience.
Like maybe yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, well, like a day or two ago.
It's a really important poem, and if you want, I'll look for another really good one by Wallace Stevens, because it's kind of, they're hard to understand. He's of that school of poetry where you read, it's like you're not even sure what they're talking about, and you just have to let it sort of wash.
Have you read anything from Ruby?
Yeah, maybe that's why I started talking about it, because John mentioned Ruby.
So wait, I reread The King of Ice Cream one and I put it on YouTube, and I agree with you. It is a little confusing, but is it just technically saying like, hey, I'm a dad, I have kids, I'm the king of ice cream, like I'm a happy simple guy with an ice cream?
No, should I pull it up again? It has to do with our confusion of the way things look and the way things are. Hang on, I gotta look it up because I don't remember the line. Let be the something of seeing. You know who I recommend on this, who sort of taught me about this, is Harold Bloom, a great literary critic. Hang on, I'm looking up the Emperor of Ice Cream. Thank you for saying something nice and neat. I don't know why people have to use funny names. The Emperor of Ice Cream, Wallace Stevens, is coming up. To tease out the meaning, one of the most famously elliptical poems of the 20th century. Let's see. I mean, on the one hand, it sort of suggests a picnic, a Sunday school picnic, where, you had to make ice cream and eat it quickly because there wasn't much refrigeration, so it was the kind of thing you made and you eat. And it was hard to, it wasn't easy to get. Let's see. Cole the roller of big cigars. Now, we have to think about what that is. That sounds like a, what do you call it? Like a monopolist, or what do they call robber baron? The muscular one. And bid him whip in kitchen cups concupiscent curds. Concupiscent has the suggestion of promiscuity, I believe. Let the wenches dawdle in such dress. Now there you have the word wenches, which is also sort of a suggestion of lasciviousness or something. As they are used to wear, and let the boys bring flowers in last month's newspapers. So he wrote this at a time where this would have been contemporary, like people wrap things in newspapers and stuff. Well, so that's what we have. So
Yeah, I like that part.
Lustful desires. It's an unusual word to apply to lustful desires. He says there's an echo from Keats's The Eye of St. Agnes, where there's a crossover between eating sweet things and romance. The theme of lust also extends to the muscular roller of big cigars. It says here, like all the modernists, Stevens wrote in the shadow of Freud, and those wenches, they dawdle around the curds. The swift those dated newspapers remind us of the swift passage of time, a traditional theme in poems about young love. Anyway, but it just sort of rolls over you. It makes you feel like you're like glimpsing or even feeling something that is.
Well, for me, El Norma, when I make poems, it almost always feels like I'm like the puppet, and like the puppet master is manipulating me through like their strings of emotion, through the words written down. And I don't know if it's like a little cynical, but that's sort of like my take on it.
That's really good. I want to write this out and send it to my kid now and challenge him with it. I have to say, yours telling me that is one of the nicest things that has happened to me on the app. Especially since I spent so much time arguing with sick people.
Yeah, it's I'm at work most of the time, so I don't get to really like talk that much or that often. So I just started listening to the conversations that people are having.
Eleanor, did you see the Donald Trump? I saw a room you were in. It was like the Donald Trump Instagram thing. Did you see it?
I saw a little bit of it, or it kind of washed over me first thing in the morning before the black folks and politically correct were discussing it. Do you get into those rooms?
Yeah, I just got kicked out of that room.
Yeah, he was pretending to be gay. Oh, I love your trolling. I love nothing better than I don't like it this way when you troll politically correct black folks, but I love it when you troll the anti-Semites.
I would hardly. I mean, yeah, I guess you could call them politically correct, but at this point, it's not even politically correct. I mean, they're just, But anyway, I'm talking about the Gaza Strip AI video that is on Trump's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What a weird thing to put up.
Yeah, a little weird, but Elon Musk, he's into these memes, so like there is a value in a gaslight. It heats up the room.
Biological narrative control.
It's gaslighting, meaning like you're controlling the situation because you're signaling and you're forcing everyone to respond to your signal. And that's the power of the gaslight, where if you were to just put out a boring message and it was not controversial or annoying, nobody's going to pay attention to it. So we're forced, to essentially communicate in a gaslight manner to hopefully achieve some type of positive change, because everything that has been happening is, in my opinion, fucking to the left, and that's negative.
That goes through, in my view. And Ghost is a very talented man. And really smart. And I think he's among the best that we have. Do you listen to him? Do you know what I mean?
Listen, before I ever take advice from a closet fucking piece of shit I'll go read a good book and go to the gym.
Why is he, you mean a closet gay guy?
I'm being facetious. I just, I don't like him. I think he's a psychopath, to tell you the truth.
Well, we're all psychopaths.
But anyways, I don't really hate him. I just think you're giving him way too many compliments. I mean, yes, he's an elegant biracial man.
I didn't know he was biracial. I don't know if he is or not. I know who he is, by the way, and I'm not telling.
I don't have like a death wish against the guy. I'm not gonna go hunt him. I'm just saying that, I've listened to him for years, and I would just classify him as I classify technically everybody, that it's just low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, wasting time. I mean, believe me, I think you're funny and I like you, but on the long end of the tail of the spectrum, like debating Soren, you're way above that. Like, he is just a cretin. So it's like, how can you push it further to where you're not communicating with a cretin? You're like using a cretin, like he's using you. That's what I just don't think you understand. It takes two to tango. So he's your dance partner, and you've chosen a really shitty dance partner.
Do you have any other good book recommendations? Yeah. One second, I'm getting out my notes. So, I recommend James Salter. Salter. It's a book of short stories. I think you'll like it a lot. I'm not gonna give you too much. Wow. I'm just looking him up here. He died of a heart attack in 2015 in SAG, a place that I know. I'm just looking for the book. Oh, that's not right. I'll look it up on Wikipedia. And I also wanted to recommend what do you like? When I was younger, like when I was 18 to like 22, I was like deep into science fiction because I love the dialectical opposition of both like science and fiction being tied into one. But now I don't know, like I'm looking to sort of expand that sort of the horizon. Have you read Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson? Yeah, super, super good. Like how it goes into like language and like the avatars. It's amazing. Like how, it's fantastic. Yeah.
So I figured out something that you'd like, so I'm proud of myself for that. And I'm sure you've heard William Gibson.
Super. Neuromancer,
Neuromancer, yeah. Well, somebody that you might not have thought of that I think you'll really like if you get the right book, Isaac Babel, Babel. He is a Jewish short story writer from Odessa who rode with the Red Army of Russia. Short stories, really good. Really, really great. It's like a must, I would say.
What about like any good books like in the last 30 years, like the last 25, 30 years? Do you think anything?
Yeah. Have you read the Plains trilogy of Cormac McCarthy?
Is that Cormac McCarthy? He's the guy who wrote that Blood Meridian.
Yeah, he wrote Blood Meridian.
Yeah.
So the critic whose work I like, Blood Meridian is difficult and dark. His next books are a little bit more plot-driven and accessible. So there's All the Pretty Horses, Cities on the Plain, and The Border, I think, or it's known as the Border trilogy. And I would read those in order, and it's really, 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 really good. And maybe you'll get back to me, although people never do when I recommend books to you. This is all from the one poem. And there's a guy that I admired in college and then I met once, which was a really interesting experience. William Gatz. Do you ever just like suddenly you meet somebody whose work you really admire and you sort of hang out with them?
No, that's never happened to me. I've never met my idols.
I hung out with Norm Macdonald once in Vegas for a whole day.
I'm so jealous. Wow.
Why did you? That sounds great. Why did you?
I was at the World Series of Poker where a classmate of mine was playing, and he called me on my phone while he's at the table, and he goes, "Look to the guy to your left." I look to my left, and it's like a homeless bum. And I'm like, "Yeah, what about him?" He goes, "That's Norm Macdonald." I'm like, "Hey, Norm!" And he looks at me. He's like, "Oh, hey." I'm like, "Hey, I'm John." I'm in the Army. I'm here on leave right now. That's my buddy playing. He told me you're Norm. I'm like, "I love you. I love your movies, and that's like you're amazing." He's like, okay, great. What's your, And we became best friends. And him and I hung out the whole day. And he told me the funniest stories. And I told him, I was like, "Dude, I want you to come back to my military base and do a comedy show." He's like, "All right, here's my number. Call me." It was fun.
I'll never show up.
Oh, yeah, I know. He was an addicted gambler. He went bankrupt twice in Vegas from being an addict.
3 times.
3 times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlantic City. He once told me that he took $60,000 and threw it into the Atlantic Ocean so he could stop gambling.
He told me he went to a Gamblers Anonymous meeting in this hotel room, and all these people are telling their stories about how they lost all this money and how their lives were ruined. And then this one guy is like, "I just gambled yesterday and I won $400,000 and I threw it on the bed in the hotel and I was rolling in it and crying and my life is so miserable." And he's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" He's like, this is supposed to be a bunch of losers crying about how they lost everything. You just won $400,000 yesterday, you motherfucker. Like, he was just so funny.
He does this thing with alcoholism. Alcoholism, I know it's a disease and everything, but it's the only disease you feel really good, you know? You drink and you feel really great, you get happy, and then you have snacks, and you go home with somebody. It feels like he was taking the experience that you described with Gamblers Anonymous and applying it to alcoholism. He might have had alcohol problem.
He had this podcast, right? Like the Norm Show or something like
Yeah, it
that.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
With Adam Eads.
Yeah. The $5 blowjobs under the bridge.
Yeah, they were 15, but
I was thinking about it yesterday, El Norma. I was like,
so I hear.
Your name should be the General Norm.
Why?
Because it's like a combo. It's like you're a general and, the general norm. Like, it's normative, It's like you are normal. So, like, technically, you're like the general norm. Yeah.
So you think I shouldn't argue in favor of Israel and defeat all their stupid things? They're just a waste
No, you're exhausting yourself. This is a social audio chat app. If anything, you should just do like sound effects and like that's why trolling is like a good form of communication against these people because what they're doing is trolling themselves and they're trying to present it somewhat professionally, but nonetheless, yeah.
You should get a soundboard with like the Looney Tunes effects. So whenever like they're talking, you just like click, a button and just play some wacky sounds.
You can get a free one on your laptop and just play it through the microphone.
Technically, everyone's creating. I'm just saying, like, if you modify the way you're creating, your performance will change. And this is all performative art for the most part, because this is not a combat zone, So everybody's technically doing public speaking and performative art.
So you're so publicly aware. I mean, you're so aware of me in this. I don't know what the hell to call you. I have to call you subscriber, John, or what?
You can just call me John, yeah.
Okay, John. How do I come across? Because I have a feeling this is not my real personality. Like people say I'm much quieter in person. They're surprised, and they're shocked at how tall I am.
Yeah.
Like shocked. Do I project like a small person with a big mouth or something?
No, you just are like, that's why I say you're like the general normative. I mean, you're just normal, and everybody else on here is toxic. So I don't know. I'm just saying you're doing it so long now and so often. It's like, if they go high, go low. If they go low, go high. Like you gotta basically like have more fun with it. Take it less seriously. No, I know you do. I'm just
I'll
yeah.
do imitations. Do you know that anti-Semite who's also a transgender? Like Point or Cappuccino?
No. There's a couple of them on here.
Huh?
There's a couple trans J haters on there. That politically correct room's got a lot of J haters, I'm sure.
It's not Bill. They're interested to hear my point of view, but when I come in, they want to talk about it. They want me to talk about the Gaza thing. They want me to be against emptying the whole place out, which we didn't talk about yet, but everybody does want to talk about that. Anyway, when they talk, I start talking in my high voice with them. It is really a horrible thing to do to a person who's doing that because that's their identity. But because they hate Jews, somehow I feel justified.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can have love for everyone, but yet just the comedy thing and the roasting, you have to like get past, I guess, being controversial or mean and just know that like, this is, I view this all as a roast and a comedy show. And if people hate me, I mean, then they don't understand that like by me filming them and roasting them, like that's what I'm doing. I mean, it's a roast show in many ways. I can roast myself by being self-deprecating, or I can go on the attack and call people stupid. And it works.
Maybe you can wake them up, self-actualize them, sort of like a mirror, reflect.
Hermes, are you okay? Hermes? Yeah. Okay. They said the most horrible thing about you, which I'm not going to repeat, but that's all I can say, really. Jazzy. Oh, my God. Yeah. So, I don't want to talk about it. It's not my biz, but I don't know. It's like the worst. And I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is everything going to be okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Jazzy what you said to me the other day. You're like, she's basically a victimization publisher, and the Palestinians.
Say that.
Well, you said she's essentially calling attention to herself by saying she's a victim. You said, and the Palestinians are doing the same thing. I'm just saying that, like, I agree with that sentiment, but she's got a real nastiness about her,
It's a weird, playful nastiness. If she's nasty, then you're back, then you're out, then you're in. And it's like a little bit sadistic and a little bit like mean girl. like playing with your food, you know, the way a cat bats a mouse against the wall a bunch of times before it kills it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the cat plays with a mouse like it's a toy.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't see how anybody could think having a conversation with her in the morning is a good way to start your day. You know, go to the gym, read a book. I mean, you have to take responsibility for the programming that you're putting in your ears, you know, and try to own it. I mean, life is too short to let these people just inhabit your brain and live rent free. I mean, I'm a fighter. Like, I'm not gonna listen to these people's bullshit without fighting back and trying to encourage people to stop doing what they're doing. Go to the gym and read a fucking book, and then let's do book report club. You know, let's do book club. I would much rather do book club than this insane back and forth with a bunch of people who are repeating themselves like talking parrots. It's crazy.
You want a difficult book, Zidane? Zidane's not still here.
No, he left. But he's a smart young guy. He's married. But he showed me this one really interesting book. He has an ability to find things on the internet that I would never be able to find. That is the thing about young people as you get older, or when you were young and you were working with older people, you realize that the young are in on the new stuff and their brains are working a lot faster than you. So they become like an intelligence tool. And, you know, it's good to have people like that around because they're keeping you abreast and in the new, which, you know, it's easy to stop being able to discover that stuff because you're not engaged in it like young people right out of college are who are working. Yeah, look what Teddy B wrote. They are mostly
somebody like you or me ever going to be able just to be normal? Wait, what did you say? You're not all psychopaths.
Oh, I was reading what's in the chat.
Yeah, but did I think that we're all psychopaths?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that because it's an index. Some people are extremely psychotic and some people are average. And then you have the lower on the spectrum who are, you know, essentially antipsychotic.
Do you think Diego did these things of which you're accusing him in the chat? In other words, he's a criminal. I mean, the worst thing is what happened with, from a human point of view, what happened with Nura.
Oh.
Did I already tell you guys that she called?
Yeah, Jazzy and Aubrey, they were saying, yeah, she calls Norm. Norm is secretly talking to her. Nobody said anything like nobody made any implications after they said that. So I was like, I just let it be. But that was, you know, Jazzy had a whole 1 hour power of her bullshit, spreading all kinds of bullshit about Nora.
Jazzy did. So Jazzy knows what girls really love gossip.
I like gossip too, to tell you the truth, but I like it in the sense that, like, it's intelligence, meaning that, you know, you're learning more about somebody. And I don't know, the political gossip stuff, like CPAC, I was going to go to CPAC with Mark Rice and his son Max, but I didn't go. And the photos I saw, I wish I went because I would have gathered a lot of intelligence and information and video clips. And not everybody can do that, you know, like Max here in Chicago. Like, some people are just not that digitally inclined and they're not going to be able to produce a ton of content. But I've gotten good at it really because of this app and recording this app and X and etc. But I still have you know, I'm just a nobody in my mom's basement in my underpants. So, anyways.
I assume you're saying that figuratively.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't think you mean that for real.
No, I know. I like to say Dr. Jordan Shaw is suing me. I like to say all kinds of things on here just to play the telephone game.
It's not true.
Of course. You think Dr. Jordan Shaw has the money to sue some random guy in Chicago who's sitting in his mom's basement in his underpants? It's all this is El Normo. Like, this is all comedy. This whole thing is one giant joke. I'm not making any money. Nobody else is making any money, and we're all here voluntarily. And it's unbelievable that it's so hard to delete the app and just walk away from it because it is a lot of fun. But I'm just Yeah, go ahead.
Is that you in the PTR? Yeah. Who's the girl? Laura Deary. She's a model and a activist against female genital mutilation. And she's a chevalier of the French Legion of Honor. But you didn't expect that answer. Did she give you the coochie? No, I wouldn't discuss it. That means yes. Well, what do you think of her?
In 6 weeks,
Yes,
I'm going to Israel for possible. Today is 6 weeks.
I put her up for Black History Month.
Sit.
Mikhail, like, are you fornicating with her?
In 6 weeks.
I'm not going to tell you that. Why would you even ask me that?
Mikhail's,
You know, I think he's... Huh?
Mikhail is a good example of someone who is just, exhausting themselves. I mean, have you ever heard him go on for hours and hours until, like, he literally can't talk anymore?
Yeah. He's really trying to figure out his identity. He wants to prove that that's his place and not ours. I think.
I don't know. I think he goes back and forth sometimes.
Huh?
He can be very flip-flop on some issues sometimes, and then other times he's just insane. Like, he's high on the psychopathic index, in my opinion, but then I've heard him chill out and be cool and talk to a girl and flirt for an hour. So it's like everybody is kind of full spectrum. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, time is short. So it's like you want to choose wisely what you're engaging with.
I will tell you that my first conversation with him was back in the days when Jews and Palestinians were just getting to know each other. And, friendly and, we can work this out and the world will be a better place and all that kind of stuff. And what happened? Well, I will tell you. We talked about essentially what Israel is ready to give up, as if I have any say in that. But I spoke my opinion, I give my gut feeling about these matters. If I got there, darn it, I just dropped something. And my feelings are ramekin, since you must know. Shit. But my feelings were and are that, well, no, they're not the same now. Was that anything is negotiable, especially if you know what you want. Like, if you want peace, we can give you a state. What's the big problem? You want a state, like, we're not going to move everybody out of the West Bank. Now, I've since learned that there are big empty areas in the West Bank. But they occupy some cities, and Jews have other cities, which sometimes get called settlements. But they're like little suburban communities. They're very cool, by the way. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in the West Bank. So I said, sure, you can have the West Bank. You can, and I know what some of the deals have entailed, so you can have some of that land back, and we'll compensate you for other land if we have settlements on it. And you can have East Jerusalem, because that's the big thing for them. It's like, well, it's got a lot of Arabs in it. What are we going to do, kick people out? That doesn't seem practical, right? I mean, kicking out 1 million Arabs, like, who wants to do that, And in the course of it, he sort of backed me into this position of, oh no, I threatened the butt. Hang on a second here. I'm still going to eat it, I think. He backed me into this position over the Temple Mount. And he said, but you'll never give up the Temple Mount, will you? And I said, what's the big deal about the Temple Mount? Like, what do we care about the Temple Mount? Right? I guess I wasn't very observant then. I wasn't very religious. Not that it feels so different today. But he thought that as a Jew, the interesting thing that even if they're knowledgeable about some Jewish things, they have this really like black and white fundamental view of us. And I think that's the way Islam is. It's not like this, you can be a Islam light. I mean, you can, but I think it's not very mainstream. In mainstream Judaism, we have Reform Jews and conservatives. They're all Jewish, Not like they're not. Some affiliations may look down on others. It's true. Like the from may look down a little bit on the not from, and the not from the same. Maybe think that that's not right for them. And there's all conservative. I don't know if conservative is the main affiliation. What do you think, Edmund? John?
What's the question?
Think conservative is the main thing?
What's the question?
Which do you think is the main affiliation of Judaism?
I would go with probably Reform.
Okay.
As far as I know, I don't know the actual numbers.
Well, I think Reform was big for a while. Conservative was big. Now I think Orthodox is growing. Just because it's really committed and they have more kids. So, in any event, then some Israelis came in the room and they were yelling at me like, you're not going to bargain away, any East Jerusalem. We're not giving them anything. And these are guys who had served in the army. And in fact, I learned, not only had they served in the army, but they'd been injured in the army. And in fact, one of them had lost a leg and a lung serving. So he wasn't looking for any American dum-dum like me to give up something that he may have fought for, either literally or figuratively. So they basically told me to fuck myself with the drugs, and then they told him to fuck himself. But I guess the point was that I got pretty far down the road with him, but he couldn't believe that I would be willing to accommodate a Palestinian state that would be meaningful to him. Because, the question was always to me, well, if we just talk about this, look, you can have some of this land and we can have some of the other land. And let's get on with it. Let's get back to the business of raising our children and having businesses and reading books and building hospitals and stuff, right? You with me or am I being boring?
No, I hear you. Listen, I've been to Jordan twice. I'm good friends with a Jordanian here in Chicago and that I went to high school with, and they took me to their house in Amman twice for vacation, and he doesn't dislike Jews. In fact, he went to jail because a black guy murdered his father, and apparently he apprehended the murderer and burned him to death in a grocery store where his father was murdered that they owned in some kind of insurance fraud scheme. So he went to jail, the guy that I'm friends with, his son, and then a Jewish lawyer somehow got him out. And so he's like forever thankful to to Jews. But the point is, he doesn't disparage Jews, and he's a Christian. He's a Greek Orthodox Christian. So it does seem to be amongst the Muslims that have a real hatred for the Jews. The Christians in the Middle East, they're kind of like, yeah, the Jews aren't so great. We kind of hate them. But they're like, but you know who we hate even more than the Jews? These fucking Muslims. They really hate the Muslims, the Christians in the Middle East. And so that's just like group dynamics in psychology. Everyone is self-associating, and they're just so far, they're culturally so different. It's just like black and white, But anyways, those are my observations. I don't know if it's true or not, but.
Well, I'd like to go to Amman, and I'd like to know what the heck is that story with somebody killed? He tried to kill the guy by burning him up in a store?
No, they came from Jordan. So get this: I'm in Salt Valley in Amman, in this village called Salt, which is on the way to the Dead Sea. And my friend's dad takes me to his old house that he grew up in, and he goes, "You see that hole in the mountain there? That's where we would hide when the Israelis would bombard, because the shrapnel would blow all over the place, and this was our hiding spot." And he says, "Look down there. You see that concrete building down there, that shack?" He said that was Yasser Arafat's main PLO headquarters. And I said, so, and he said, no matter how hard the Israelis tried, they could never manage to hit the building. They were getting closer and closer, but no matter how hard they tried, their rockets and their targeting was never sophisticated enough to actually put it where they wanted it. So anyways, his dad ran a taxi cab business, and I was like, well, what did he do? Like, he just drove general taxi? And I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm like, I bet you his fucking dad was running fighters and like transporting fighters, because this area was like a big combat zone where the PLO were launching coordinated attacks from. He even told me that, I guess, Black October or whatever it was, when the Jordanian Hashemite army, Black September, he told me he was sitting on a mountaintop or like on a ridge watching the Jordanians destroy them in battle. And so he's a very proud Jordanian guy, and he doesn't have anything against Palestinians, but he definitely does not like Muslim terrorists. I mean, who does, unless you're a Muslim and you're a terrorist supporter. I mean, there's a lot of Muslims who I'm sure are anti-terrorism, but nonetheless, those are my experiences. We went to some Palestinian guy's house, and we had tea with him, and his kid was playing in the garbage in the field, and I'm just like, God damn, look how this motherfucker. You go to the third world and you see how people live, literally like in shacks, and they're the nicest people you ever met, and they can't even believe they're seeing somebody from America show up at their front step that wants to just have a cup of tea with them. It's like the most, talk about clown house dopamine. But anyways, yeah, the people in Jordan are magnificent. It's an incredible country. It is so beautiful.
I was in Cambodia. I met somebody's family. I was making a film. It was called Do Your Baby. It's tragic. They lived on like a bamboo platform with no walls, and they had like a thatched roof. And then there were animals and chickens underneath the house, but also in the house. And that's how they lived. And they raised rice. I'm sure you've seen rice paddies, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a rice paddy, you have to tend every strand. Every piece of rice is a strand. Like, rice is harvested one grain at a time. It doesn't come in grain, it comes in a loop. Rice is a grass. So it comes like in a patch of grass, which you then bind.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's all. And I made a film there. And what am I saying about all that? Oh, the way people live in other countries, yeah.
So, you did a lot of, a lot of filming experience, but like, how do you view 2025? I mean, theaters are, not done, but I mean, everybody's just glued to their phone. Like, how do you view social media and, essentially doing what you were doing, but maybe like, how could you strategically in 2025, utilize video to essentially mass hypnotize and monetize?
Well, I have this product that I produce, and I'd like to produce some more. I sort of had the idea that I'd be an entrepreneur, and I could continue with that. And plug them on Insta.
Thanks. Long before God created angel and man, he made the first beasts, the leviathans.
I invested. Sorry, the thing is woking up a bit. I invested in some podcast platforms or companies, startups a while ago. I did very well with those. When I like, quote unquote, producing.
My lord, bring dire news from the surface world. A being called Thanos is attacking Wakanda.
What were you thinking? I mean, I don't really know. You seem to be more like in a fantasy world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not commercially associated. I mean, I'm just some, guy in his home recording Clubhouse. I mean, nobody cares about it. I get audiences on YouTube that are like, are you talking to AI chatbots? Are you talking to Alexa? People can't even believe that I'm talking to real people on this app. But it's kind of funny from a third-person perspective. People think that you're talking to an AI chatbot. A lot of people don't know about Clubhouse. It's actually a very small app. It's a small community, and you think about all the people you talk to. It's only, it's pretty small. X is a much bigger presence, but here, I can't believe this app is even still here. I mean, how the hell can they pay for all this cloud and have no advertising. I mean, I know they're selling the data, but it's still just like the app is probably better than it's ever been, from like a functional and usability perspective. I mean, thank God they got rid of clicking away to the globe to see live rooms. It's like just give the people what they want, and they finally kind of tweaked it and maybe stepped away. Like I haven't been to one of those Paul Davidson town halls in a while, but I still think that this app can be used to even run businesses. I mean, it's free telephone, and the way we use it is basically. I like to use it as a roast, but most people just think it's a debate. But it's just so unstructured. It's neurotic, like you said. I mean, when we first started talking an hour ago or whatever it was, you essentially, I think you said it was like it's an insane asylum, or I can't remember what you said, but you put it in a good reframe. I'm just thinking, like, why can't this?
I think I said it was a social experiment.
Right.
And I felt like we were in a bell jar.
I went to this really contentious meeting once for the Treasury Department, and basically it was very, very chaotic. A lot of
taxes?
It was my work, my job. But anyways, yeah, I still I think I still technically do. But nonetheless, I don't think I'll be going back to work anytime soon. I would like to, but I have other legal problems and being sued, and so they're garnishing my wages. Anyways, my life is going day to day. I'm trying to figure out, do I take action or do I just be a hermit and meditate? The point is,
Did you put your money in a trust or something?
No, they debanked me and seized one of my checking accounts. Yeah, but anyways, the whole point is, after I left this very contentious work meeting, with this.
That doesn't happen very often, does it?
A contentious work environment or meeting?
No. Getting debanked.
Oh, no, it doesn't. But the thing is, they sued me for a foreclosure. They repetitioned the court to revive the debt. It was many years ago, way past 7 years. And anyways, Illinois has a crazy law about foreclosure debt, and that they can just repetition it. And anyways, some states don't have this. I wouldn't be suffering this if I was in a different state. But anyways, the whole point was, as I said to the coworker, I was like, I feel like this whole job is an anger simulator. Like, we're supposed to be upset. We're supposed to be in a state of anxiousness, but the truth is, like, this is a simulation, which is essentially trying to string you along in a way. But really, there's no need to be concerned. It's like a false positive, and we're all responding to this chaos, but it's bullshit chaos. Like, there's no fire. The building's not on fire. It's not going anywhere, and nothing is happening. So anyways, I'm just trying to say that, but because of words, we're so easily hypnotized and thrown that if you're not aware that communication can be deceptive, you will just go along with whatever people say, and most of what everybody's saying is meaningless anyway. So, it's unbelievable how much time we waste with ineffective communication. I mean, when was the last time you even went to a movie theater and saw a movie?
I don't remember.
It's been that long, right?
Yeah, and I can go for free.
Just because there's nothing that even comes out that you find is worth your time to sit in the theater for 2.5 hours?
That's not true. I think I'm sort of duck right now. I'm not going. I just don't make the effort. I took my kid to see the Instigators. Really good movie with Casey Affleck and Ben
Damon. Oh, I didn't even hear about that one.
Huh?
I didn't even see the previews for that one.
except often. It's by a famous director who did pretty well until he didn't. Doug Lyman, who did the movie Go. Have you seen Go?
Maybe.
Really, really good. It's about taking ecstasy, but it's really well done. A robbery and a drug deal.
It's amazing how cell phones have degraded filmmaking completely and entirely. It's like it's made filmmaking irrelevant because the ROI just isn't there. And then the generation. Yeah, just that whole journey and all that work that went into all these films that are even pre-CGI or even post, like, just nothing can compare to the damn cell phone and spam. Like, people are just, billions of people, their lives are just inundated with spam, and they don't even know it's spam anymore. So, I mean, we are in many ways living amongst like zombie automatons. I mean, service workers, as soon as they get a second free, what is the first thing they do? They look straight at their cell phone, get that dopamine. You know, I don't know. The stickiness of this app is remarkable because it's hyper dynamic. You don't know what the response is going to be. You don't know what you're going to hear. So it's like, it's a very high dopamine creation, which really means that this thing is technically like a medical device technology company for talkers. It's like a talk therapy app. Anyways, I'm going in circles. I repeat myself on this app all the time. I was going to go to the gym. I could still go to I'm still going to go to the gym actually because now I have access to a 24-hour gym. My gym shut down a couple days ago. But
what will you do at the gym?
I start out by doing cardio. I warm up, and then I go do yoga for 30 minutes in the studio. I stretch in silence for 30 minutes, and then I go lift weights, and then I do a final stretch, and then I leave. It takes me about an hour.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I need to burn more calories, but you know, that's the thing. It's like if you're fat and you go to fat camp, they just keep you moving for like 8 hours a day, you know, and put some weight on you, but you never stop moving because it's only way to burn all those calories is to be in a constant state of motion, which is, you know, very taxing, but it's a lot better than just doing a 1 hour workout. I mean, but anyways, yeah, that's how I work out. To me, yoga is essential. It's like the most important aspect. Stretching.
Yeah, very healing.
Stretching and breathing.
You know?
It's amazing.
You go to a good class, you change your life.
Yeah, you can really meet some beautiful people in a yoga class.
I met a great girl in a yoga class.
Yeah, my cousin is big into yoga classes and trying to pick up chicks at yoga studios and stuff. And he's Jewish, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with the fact that he's Jewish, but the point is he kind of gets busted out by girls sometimes who just like know he's there for the women, and he's kind of annoying in the sense that for that reason alone, you know, he's just told me some stories about how some women have like called him out, like, do not talk to me. Like he gets shut down. He's obsessed with Japanese women or Asian women. But yeah, I don't know what it is about Jewish guys, but some of them just absolutely adore Asian women, and I'm just like, I don't see it. Like, I do not see Chinese women as being attractive.
All right, I'm gonna eat this, so you don't want to hear me do that.
Okay, God bless and have a good night. Take care, and Hermes, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
Good to catch up with Hermes.
Okay, take care. Any final words, Hermes?
See you guys.
I already won it. His mom's a favorite.
An American journalist?
Yes.
Known for his books and articles
1853. So it's from March 23rd, 1853, and the article has the header Jewish Negro. So this was in the actual newspaper in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now look what it says. Jewish Negroes. It says the Reverend Dr. Philip, missionary in the in the north of Africa. So that's in places like Morocco and those different places that we know already had Jews. Gives the following details about that country. When he says country, he's talking about the historical region, or perhaps what later became known as Libya. So it's actually the country of Libya that also carried the dual name Africa. And Josephus, even way before this time, conveys that point in Antiquities of the Jews. So that was a long-standing name for Libya. But anyways, here's the following details concerning that country. A Russian Jew resident at Medea. Notice that there's a Russian Jew at Medea. So there's a Russian Jew in the continent of Africa. Gave him the following information concerning a great number of Israelites.
So this lady is not going to get help right as she came. My. Devastating.
Now this would be where Kalisha could talk about unitary executive theory, because the statement from the Solicitor General really it's really interesting. The new order requiring payment of enormous sums of foreign assistance money in less than 36 hours intrudes on the prerogatives of the executive branch. The president's power is at its apex, and the power of the judiciary is at its nadir. In matters of foreign affairs, Acting Solicitor General Sarah Harris wrote in the emergency motion to the High Court. And emergency is hurricane here? Okay, so I wanted to make sure I'm not fucking this up. But I believe emergency motions go to John Roberts. And John Roberts, of course, is the chief, but he was also one of the chief architects of unitary executive theory, which originated during the Reagan administration. So that is a real through line here.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, because they blocked it, but they're going to hear it, right? It's not decided. They just blocked it till they...
The emergency motion blocks the deadline.
Right, but, so they're going to hear it, because it says the plaintiffs have until noon Friday to respond. The administration, that's their emergency appeal. So the plaintiffs can respond, and then they'll make their final weigh-in. So it's going to remain on hold until the Supreme Court has a chance to weigh in more fully, according to the brief order signed by Chief Justice Roberts. So they're just freezing the order until they have a full hearing. So it's not decided yet.
For sure. But with the composition of this court, it's not looking great.
Yeah, they're going to have to consider the legislation that created USAID. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Intimidated by Donald Trump. They were there at his request. He did not allow you some members of the press who he didn't like, and that's the way he.
lot going on, y'all. I'm just sitting there thinking about what y'all said. It's a lot. It's a lot going on with President Trump, and a lot of these things again seem to be very overreaching. The funding, where is that funding going, or who or what is it going to? Does anybody know?
What funding are you talking about?
I thought someone said something about some funding or money was supposed to be released by, what was it, midnight?
People have patterns in life,
right?
and the patterns
Yeah, it's
reveal
the
what I call their
international
character. And character is something very deeply ingrained in a person.
International
It's
okay,
that genetic component we talked about earlier. It's the early education part of them. It's something so deep inside that they can't control it. And you
Like that needs to be released. If that's a
and what
part
it does
of,
over time is it creates patterns. We end up following patterns in life, in our work world, in our personal relationships, etc. And you can see this over time. And that reveals the essence, that core that we are. Often in more negative light, people have patterns in life, and the patterns reveal.
government, I don't know what to say because I was looking at
Actions are language that you're not paying attention to. When someone is continually late for an appointment, or continually late in delivering what you're supposed to deliver, that's a sign of passive aggression. It's a sign of some kind of character flaw. And if they do it once, they'll probably do it a second time. If they do it a second time, something's going on. If their desk is all messy, etc. These are signs of something going on internally. Pay attention to all of these details, and it will really help you in life. Action. We have this insane instrument, certainly the most complex beliefs in the universe. Mathematical possibilities and connections in the brain are absolutely.
Yeah, I might
every day we just wake up and marvel at this thing that we've been given, this insane tool. But people don't use it right. If you develop it in the right way, you can have these powers that are incredible. The pleasure that you have when you use it. Welcome to the fact that have patterns in life. The problem most people have is they're not connected to themselves. They're too directed. They're not being designed to work on something that figure out the answer to a problem through focus, through persistence, through constantly. It's all persistence, it's all energy. It's the degree of your aspiration that matters. And I just wish teachers were teaching how to their children nowadays. The human being, I was a bee sting. I caused the cloth, and I caused the strike.
And when I got a good amount of
left
lessons
side
on
of my
myself,
body is basically paralyzed.
I
Can't swim, can't
how to
hop,
ensure that I
can't hike, I can't type. For rides, it's not much fun.
poison
The
myself.
frustration. It takes you 10 minutes to tie your shoes. It's hard to cut.
And then she would no
I
longer
look out my window now where I'm riding. I see people walking their dog.
oh yes,
And I put myself in their shoes. God,
I would take a
it must be so
capsule
great
for
just to walk your dog down the street. What a pleasurable thing. They don't realize it.
in the middle of most
You take it for granted. Please don't take it for granted. Understand the ability you have now to run, to walk your dog, to swim, to type. It can be taken away from you. Some people are toxic. They have deep levels of insecurity and issues from a troubled, damaged childhood. You like half the things that happen to you, you have no control over. God or destiny or fate is rolling the dice in your life. You're going to get yellow. The people that you meet, the jobs that you have, the parents that you have. No choice over these things. It's destiny. It's fate. It's a roll of the dice. And what you must do is you must see that each thing that happens as a possibility for turning it around. There's nothing bad that ever happens. It's just you have a lower self and a higher self. You can recognize this. Your lower self comes out when you eat junk food. You spend 2 days just playing video games all day. When you don't get your work done, you're lazy. When you're not nice to people, you feel kind of bad. You feel kind of ugly and wrong. You don't admit to yourself something doesn't feel good. But when you have discipline, when you spend 3 months getting in really good shape, and you get better habits, when you complete a project, when you work well,
I told her word. I said, my mother is learning for this for the first time right now. She was in the back of the room, and she was like, "I'm gonna beat your ass." Listen, I hate lima beans. Me and Jordan got together, and we grocery shop and everything. And I kindly asked Jordan, if you go to the grocery store, please do not get the lima beans. Don't get the mixed vegetables. They got lima beans in them. Because I'm not going to eat them. And Jordan got them goddamn lima beans.
and I made him come over with me, and we had to pour that bowl into one bowl and pick all of them some bitches out.
That is extreme for not wanting to eat no damn lot of meat.
It's extreme to not buy the damn bag that don't got them in.
Well, that too, but look here, let me tell you something. Hey, I'm with you, man. Listen, you send somebody to the store, you want them to come back with what you asked for. I'm with you on that, because I send my man to the store, because I ain't doing that. I said, hey, here's a whole list. Oh, I ain't doing that, man. I send the car out front, I'll swing that car around, I'll help them load that stuff, but I ain't shopping in no damn store. I ain't gonna deal with the public like that. I think, bro.
It was ridiculous. And I know that it's extreme. Howsoever, I hate lima beans. Yes, I'm telling Jordan about some. Are you telling these people how you drink fried sides? Yes, in fact, I am.
But it's the boldness with which you tell the story.
Listen, let me tell y'all another thing. Y'all know I was a badass kid. Did y'all know that? Y'all didn't know I was a badass kid. Let me tell you. I'm about to tell them the nice story right now. I'm about to tell them the nice story right now. This why I ain't scared of shit, okay? This why I ain't scared of shit. So it was spring break, and I was a kid, and badass kid. Yes, I was a badass kid. And there was this little boy that I didn't like very much because of the neighborhood that we lived in. It's Beverly. It was a upper middle class neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. You know, everything. And if you lived in Beverly, you were doing pretty fucking well. Well, he lived on Beverly Boulevard, so he thought he was better than us. Bitch, you ain't no better than us because you live on a boulevard. They got the neighborhood name. We live in the same shit. I say how and so ever because my grandmother used to say that. That's why. And that's how I keep my grandmother alive. I repeat a lot of the things she said. Okay. So look, one day, it was during spring break, I had carved a target out in the tree. Y'all remember Cutco knives?
Yeah.
AG, did you have some Cutco knives?
I don't know what that is.
So Cutco, you know, on QVC, they used to sell knives and shit, the knife sets. And so they had Cutco, and they would do the demonstration where you could cut a penny in half with the Cutco sheet.
What the hell?
To demonstrate how sharp the knives was. These motherfuckers could, you know, cut, you know,
I remember that infomercial.
Yeah, Cutco.
Got me some.
So we had these motherfucking Cutco knives, and I decided to go outside and throw these motherfucking Cutco knives at my target. And I was throwing them, and my mama, you know, she sent us outside. You gotta go outside, get out of my face, right? So I'm outside, I'm throwing my motherfucking knives at this target, and the little fat boy that I ain't like brought his ass and stood in front of my target, right? So I threw a little tantrum. I told him to leave, get out from in front of my target, leave me alone, and he wouldn't. So I stormed in the house, right? Because I'm irritated now. Ooh. I told my mama, and she like, boy, what are you doing in this house? I told you to go outside. And I was like, oh, you better get this little fat boy before I do something to him, before I hurt him. And she said, you better go your ass outside or you're going to be in this house. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. All right. And I mumbled to myself, okay. I went back outside. He was gone. I started throwing my knives again. Right? I'm fucking it up. I'm Bruce Lee with the motherfucking ninja stars and shit. I'm throwing them at my target. And he came and stood in front of that motherfucker again. And I told him I'm going to count to 3. And if he don't move, I'm going to throw him anyway. Right? So I counted 3. 1, 2, and he ain't moved. So I threw another punch. Oh, move. Get out my right? And he stood there. I said, okay. And threw a knife, cut him right on the top of his head, and stuck in the tree. And he goes screaming, howling, like a little porky pig. And my mother hears a boy child wailing, so she run outside. And now she see the knives, and she see him
wallowing on the ground, screaming like he about to die. So she scoops him up and takes him up in the house and, dresses it. It was just like a little surface because it wasn't real bad. She called his mother because they knew each other and told her what happened. And the whole time she was doing a black mother thing, that black mamas do. Oh, you just wait. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm gonna fuck you up. The little threats when you do something, you just wait until his mama get here and all of that. And she threatened me and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess, okay. So his mama came, she got him, and my mama beat the hell out of me. I mean, hyperventilating, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm about to die type beat. It was just terrible. I was just, couldn't breathe, couldn't nothing. And so, just like black mamas do, and I think this is tangent on child abuse, she wants to taunt me after she didn't beat me. So she goes, now, how you feel now? And with whatever little breath I could muster, I said, satisfied. And it was from that day forward that I understood the self-satisfaction you get with doing the fuck what you want to do, regardless of the consequences. And from that day forward, you can't tell me shit. Because even if you beat me, I'm still going to feel good, bitch. You could take this motherfucking right arm, but it's not going to take away the feeling I got when I did what the fuck I did. And that's how I learned to stick to my motherfucking guns and stand on all 10 after my mama beat the hell out of me for cutting that little boy.
Did anyone notice sociopathic tendencies?
I mean, now.
Oh, okay. Well, just
at this big old adult age.
We're friends, right, Corey? We're friends. We're friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. Let me just add. At this big old adult age, I know I was absolutely wrong. I should have got fucked up. I could have killed the boy. I could have spent the rest of my life in jail and dealing with, I could have been trafficked on this motherfucker, had gotten violated in jail and come on Clubhouse and screaming at people because all of that and all of that shit. I understand. It was terrible. I am not proud of having cut him, but the lesson I learned still applies. Okay, now y'all can beat me up.
I know your mama ran them knees raggedy praying for your black ass.
Corey, you gonna get locked up. Not doing no to get locked up. You can absolutely be thug bully right now. Jesus. No, but it was a whole lot of shit like that I did when I was a kid. I was terrible. And yeah, I know I had psychopathic tendencies when I was a kid. That's not the only thing. There were others. Jesus, stop. I've been in therapy since I was 12. I think I got my shit, a good handle on it. Shit, therapists be crazy. Oh, my first therapist, I ran her ass motherfucking mad. And I did that shit on purpose.
Wait, I'm gonna break this for a second. I just found this article I'm reading on the New York Times. It says, an Australian couple's dream trip to Venice turned into a nightmare when flight attendants asked them to stay seated next to the body of a passenger who had died mid-flight for the final 4 hours of a 14-hour trip from Melbourne, Australia to Doha, Qatar. When a passenger collapsed during the flight attendants tried to save her but were unsuccessful. They did everything they could, but unfortunately the lady could not be saved. The crew tried to move the body to business class using a wheelchair, but it was too large to be moved through the aisle. The flight attendants then saw that there were 2 open seats in the row of 4 seats where Mr. Ring and his wife, Jennifer Collin, were seated. They asked Mr. Ring to move over 1 seat and place the body in the seat where he had been sitting. Miss Collin moved to a different row of seats. Upon landing, Mr. Ring was told to stay seated as paramedics removed blankets from the body. Qatar Airways said in a statement that airline officials had spoken with the passengers seated next to the body to address their concerns. The safety and comfort of all of our passengers is of paramount importance to us. Our thoughts are with the family members of the passenger who sadly passed away. What?
Yeah.
What in the cotton picking hellscape is going on when you sit a dead person? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
So if
That person got to go in the bathroom or something. What is going on?
If somebody dies on a flight, what they're supposed to do is halfway what they did, which is to cover the body with blankets or something else, and to move the surrounding passengers to other rows. In this
They
case,
should have put them people in first class.
correct. In this case, they should have, because they had the seats available in business class. They just didn't.
That's crazy.
And so,
4 hours, you sit
yeah.
next to a dead, no ma'am. They was gonna lay in that plane. By the time I done had all kind of anxiety, spastic attacks, yelling and screaming, what the hell, all them spirits and them duppies flying into that airplane? I don't think so. No ma'am. No ma'am. What's on the bad juju? No ma'am. No ma'am.
Yeah, so
Bonanza.
I don't know what they offered them, but yeah, that's wild.
It's crazy. My brother and I ended up buying the set for my honor making classes at 18 years old. Oh, you like this, Corey? He's part of the Hip Singers. And they're we bought him we're so proud. I know. There's so much. So yeah, I bought it down for $5. Because I was like, well, we can and he was like, no, I need to sell. Okay. So I bought it overpriced pizza cutter. I think I bought the ice cream. Like Cole lives on. They're still attacking college campuses. Our flying boat starts by Tuesday. You don't feel bad. I purchased an overpriced Kirby several years ago. Girl, I had the Kirby and never they got me. They got me when they vacuumed my mattress. No. And I tried to sell Kirby. How about that? Oh, yeah, I didn't go that far. I can't take no. Just some breaking news. I saw that Trump team appealed the lower court decision that told him they had to release the financial aid or the foreign aid that they froze by Friday at midnight or noon. Yeah. Oh, you guys are on the ball. Okay, yeah. So they sided with him. I still have that Kirby, Mickey. You know, my mom took mine. I actually got 2 because one I got when I was a stay-at-home mom, and you know they guilt the shit out of you. Don't you want the best for your family? Because you said your boys have asthma. Oh my goodness, how are you getting rid of the allergens in the? Yes. And my husband was like, "Were you bored or something?" I was like, "Look at all the stuff it can do." I don't think I used a single attachment ever. Like when we purchased our new home, you know, they would try to get new documents that come up. So, well, no, I don't open your door. Because the demonstration is going to be, you can get monthly payments. It's only going to be a certain amount a month, and it's going to last forever. Yeah, absolutely. And then, Corey, I was